Hey, how are you? My name is Ted Recitas. Been in the fitness industry for about 12 years, and 95% of that time has been in a leadership role. And recently, a friend of mine and I've been kicking around some ideas, and one of them is basically an educational series so that people that are taking their certifications and want to be part of this industry and want to come into the industry as a personal trainer and brand new to that field, kind of a guide to help them along. So one of the things that we came up with is a trainer evolution series, and basically, how to get a job as a personal trainer, what you need to do, and what are your marketable skills out of the box, from certification and or degree, right out of school and or right out of a weekend certification, things that they normally don't cover, because it can be rather confusing with all the information that you get. So this is going to be a 3-part series. Each part is going to cover 2 items. And the first 2 items that we're going to cover today is getting started and what the certification basically doesn't tell you. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, and let's get started. Number one priority is that you definitely want to get all your professional experience outside of the industry, as well as your certification and your educational experience in regards to getting your certification, if it's not a formal education out of college, onto paper. You want this piece of paper to basically represent you professionally, and in every sense of that word. So try to keep it a page long. Have it organized under experience, per experience, and the dates that you've had this type of experience, whether it be leadership, managing a five and dime, and or mopping up at the gym. That's how I started. You also want to make sure that all your contact information is there, your current address, the best contact number to reach you, and make sure that you do have voicemail on that number, and make sure that that voicemail is professional sounding, that is, as well as in terms of email address. You don't want anything provocative. You don't want to leave anything up for judgment on the hiring manager's part, because believe me, I've seen it all on resumes. You definitely want a cover letter. You definitely want a thank you letter. Make no mistake that at the end of the day, yes, we do this because we love it. We do it because we affect people's lives and help them change it, for the better, hopefully. But at the end of the day, this is still a business, and this business is based upon the relationships that you build. Everything from client to trainer relationship, to person relationship, to trainer to management relationship. All those relationships need to be managed, and the nuances of those relationships. So even when you're getting hired, making sure that you're crossing your I's, crossing your T's and dotting your I's is rather important. And the cover letter is an absolute must. Your resume is an absolute must, and a thank you letter, whether it be formally written on your own personal stationery and or handwritten via card, it's an absolute must. Copies of all your appropriate paperwork, your national certification, and or insurance may be needed for each facility, especially if you're hired under a 1099, which is essentially a contractor. And make sure that you copy your CPR and with AED and or first aid, because the facility will need copies of all of those type of paperwork. Stationery is really not that important. If you plan on faxing your resume over, the type of paper doesn't really make a difference. But I will tell you that, if you do happen to design your own stationery that you can do on either Google Docs or Word or any other word processing program, it's always a good idea. And again, just a reminder, in terms of contact information, nothing too provocative in nature. You definitely want to keep it simple, and this email should be used in a professional manner. So nothing too crazy. Other considerations is the sheer fact that some facilities, not so much in the New York areas where I'm based, most of the facilities around here really don't require a head shop, but I do know that some facilities out west do. So if you know that this is one of those things that you absolutely need to get a job in the fitness industry where you're located, then by all means get this professionally done. Not out of a booth and or not out of having your little brother take a snapshot of you. Now, choices in regards to having a viable business. One of them is private training, or training on the quote-unquote outside, or working for a company, working for a commercial facility. Each has their pros, each has their cons. Again, this series is not about, this is what you should do. This is more so of, trying to get you more informed so that you make the best decision for yourself. In terms of private training, you're definitely your own boss. You have the potential to make money because you have no other expenses, except for yourself and your own travel. You drive your own business. That could be a pro and con. However, your resources are also limited, coming right out of the box. Again, regardless whether it's private, regardless whether it's working for a commercialized gym, this is all about managing a relationship and developing them. So, you really have to hobnob and network, in order to really be successful at this business. And success in the business can mean several different things. Some of them mean, some people take that into consideration of knowledge base, but definitely your ability to utilize your network in order to utilize that knowledge base that creates a positive profit margin for your company as a private or working for a facility. It's always a good thing. Working for a company, you're definitely reporting to somebody. And generally speaking, your schedule is not that flexible. For those individuals that need a routine, that need structure, working for a facility can definitely help you be successful. There is resource available to you. You have a full staff that is basically driven to keep the gym clean, to drive business through sales and referral mechanisms within the front desk. At least hopefully there are. If they're not, we can definitely discuss it in a management series that I'm going to put together for you guys. There's definitely rent to pay. So it's like you're not getting paid the 100% that you normally would in private training. There is a certain degree of payment involved, for the facility in regards to driving your own business and training at their facility. There's benefits that are involved, generally speaking, at a commercialized gym, whether they be medical, dental, 401k and education. And education can mean a couple of different things. Subsidiaries in regards to paying for your CEUs and or an in-house educational structure that is designed to improve your skill sets as a personal trainer that may or may not provide CEUs. As a personal trainer and being in the business for about, roughly about 12, 14 years, I can tell you, do your due diligence in every sense of that word. For whatever location that you're in, whether it's residential, rural, or in the middle of Gotham, the best thing to do is do your research. Do your research on all the facilities. Find out which facilities you can bring private clients in. Find out what the fees are, because that's still part of your overhead. Definitely look into not only the apartment buildings and residential buildings that are in your area. Start talking to your neighbors in regards to, do they have fitness equipment in their house? And how many of their friends actually have fitness equipment in their house? That way you can get a good scope of what it's like out there if you're looking for a private business or something to complement your business if you decide to go the commercial route. Look at all open spaces, and that includes parks. If you wanted to do a boot camp style, no equipment, calisthenic type of workout with X amount of people, you could definitely execute that in the park. Definitely check with your parks department to see, what is your liability in regards to doing that. as well as, if you're checking out gyms and parks and whatnot, see if it's, conducive to semi-private training. And semi-private training means more than one person involved. So, definitely do your due diligence. That way you make the best decision for you. At the end of the day, like I said, this is still a business. And if you haven't really thought about writing your own budget, you really don't know how to do that, I'm going to teach you how to do that in the next, not in this series, but definitely in the following series coming up, in terms of making the best business decision for you. At the end of the day, you really have to take everything into consideration. Your knowledge base is great, but at the same token, your knowledge base is not what's going to end up paying your bills. It's essentially the income that you make off of this knowledge base, and so you really need to make the best decision for you, so you are not in a bind or behind the 8 ball financially. Hope you enjoyed that first part. My name is Ted Rositas. You can contact me at ted@thetrainerslounge.com. Look for that website pretty soon. It's under construction. Hopefully it'll be a venue for everyone to kind of learn in an open forum. Take care.